Alright, so this is 6.2, it's law of cosines. I did figure out my YouTube channel problem. Jacob Miller helped me. And so I'm uploading my videos, but it's going to take me a little while to catch up. Okay, but I should get them all in there maybe by tomorrow. Alright, so here we go. Law of cosines. So that's your card. You are able to use your card on your test. So make sure your card is correct. If you copied my card, I want to look back at it again. All right, so law of cosines. So tell me when we use law of sines.
Ambiguous.
Okay, ambiguous. What do you have to have? Okay, yeah. What do you have to use law of sines?
Angle side. Pair.
A pair. You have to have an angle in his side. Okay. So when do you use law of cosines?
Don't have
That's exactly right.
two sides and an angle.
Use law of cosines if you don't have a pair. Okay? You don't have a pair. And what I mean by a pair is an angle and his, that means that angle's side. Alright? If you don't have an angle and his side, then you're going to be forced to use law of cosines. Alright? So I'm going to kind of write, I'm not really going to. So if you're just watching the YouTube, sorry about this, we're cheating on this one. But I'm not feeling real spiffy today, so you should have it. If you were in my class, you should have it anyway. So I'm just going to write, this is the way I do law of cosines. If you're looking for a side, in the book it says a squared is equal to, and it tells you, so obviously a is the square root of it. So I write it that way. A is the square root of the other two sides, b squared plus c squared, minus 2 times those sides times the cosine of the only angle. It will be the angle formed by those two sides. Okay? Do you see that? Do you see a relationship between all of that? I don't memorize formulas, so I memorize ways to know things. So b is going to be equal to the square root of the two other sides. What is that going to be?
A
squared plus c squared minus 2ac times the cosine of this guy's angle. Do you see it? And c is obviously going to be the square root of, what's it going to be?
AB.
A squared plus b squared minus 2ab times the cosine of c, his angle. All right?
That's not bad.
So, no, it's really not bad. And once you start using it a few times, then, you know, you kind of learn how it works. It has two parts to it. The other part is if you're given 3 sides. That has a stipulation on it, and when I work that problem, I'll tell you what the stipulation is. It's very important. So this is going to be when you're looking for an angle. Obviously, when you're looking for an angle, what are you going to use on your calculator?
Inverse.
Inverse function. So you really, when I write it, I'm going to write inverse cosine, and then I'm going to write this part, and then it'll just give me the angle. Okay? So it is not this guy's sides, so it's going to be b squared plus c squared minus this guy's side over 2bc. These first two right there. Okay? So maybe you understand what my brain's thinking. Maybe not. Cosine of b is equal to, well, what's this guy's? Can't be his side, so what's it going to be? A squared and c squared. And who's going to be subtracted? Yeah, his side, b squared. And the first 2 is what goes with the 2 on the bottom, 2ac. Okay, 2ac. And then cosine of c is equal to, that's going to be a squared plus b squared minus c squared over 2ab. All right, so that's the way I do it by, I don't know, figuring out how it all goes together.
That's so weird how it's like only ABC 1. Oh, that's just crazy.
All right, go. Example 1. Example 1. I'm going to tell you that side A is 8, side B is 19, and side C is 14. So this is the one where we know all the sides. So I just told you that there was a stipulation or a restriction or whatever you want to call it when you know all the sides. So here's what it is. If you know all the sides, you will always, only if you know the sides, guys, all the sides, no angles, you will always find the largest angle first. Okay? You will always find the largest angle first. So how am I going to know who's the largest angle?
Smallest side.
What?
Largest side.
Yeah, he's going to be opposite the longest side.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you learned that in geometry.
I
The
did.
largest angle is opposite the largest side, and the smallest angle is opposite the smallest side, which makes the medium angle opposite the medium side. Okay? Alright, so let's draw us a picture. I like a picture. So I got a scalene triangle. None of the sides are congruent. That's what it's called. So I'll just draw one up here. I don't really know. I know that the largest side is 19. Okay? And so that's B. So I'll call this B. The next to the largest side is 14. And that's C. So that must be angle C. Smallest side's 8. And that's A. So this must be A. Okay, does yours have to look like that? No, I
Mine
just drew
doesn't.
it, okay? It doesn't have to look like that. Okay, so tell me what you are forced to find first.
B.
B, very good. You have to find this guy first. He is opposite my biggest side, so you have to find him first. So, find angle B first.
Wait, Miss Davis.
Yes?
Mine doesn't go ABC.
It don't have to.
Because mine goes A, B, C. It has to go A, B, C one way or the other.
Well, what if it goes backwards?
That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. All right. So I'm looking for an angle. So what am I going to use?
Inverse.
Inverse. So I'm going to go inverse cosine. Remember, y'all look, you don't have a pair. You don't have any angles, so there's no way you can have a pair. You have to use the law of cosines. Okay? I have to find the angles for the largest angle first. So inverse cosine of. Remember that it is going to be the two sides that make the angle minus the side that goes with the angle. So it's going to be 8 squared plus 14 squared minus 19 squared. All over 2 times those first two. 8 times 14. That will be angle B. Okay? Here's what we're looking for. We're looking for angle B. We're looking for angle C. And we're looking for angle A. All right? So I'll take my little handy dandy calculator. I will make sure that he is in degrees. And then I will go inverse cosine, second and cosine. I'm going to get me a fraction. On the top, I will say 8 squared plus 14 squared minus 19 squared, all over 2 times 8 times 14. Angle B, 116.8. Anybody got a question?
So
Everybody
now that we
okay?
have a pair, can we do sine?
Yes.
Okay.
Now listen to me. I'm going to do that. This is 116.8. So 116.8 degrees. Now, once I get that pair, I'm going back to law of sines. Okay? I don't have to. I can keep using law of cosines if you like it. But I'm going to go back to law of sines just because it's easier. I don't have to use my formula card. Okay? Either way you do it, you're pretty much going to have to use something that they gave you. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna find is, I'm gonna find angle C. Now, it doesn't matter what you find next, guys, okay? You can find whatever you want to. It only matters what you find first. So I'm gonna find angle C. So I'm gonna say 19 is to the sine of 116.8, as 14 is to the sine of C. Make sure that whatever law you're using the appropriate trig function. I'm using law of sines. So 19 is to the sine of 116.8. Now look, when I do this on my calculator, I'm actually going to use this number right here. It's not going to make that much difference in this one because it is 1.16.8009. But I'm going to do that because it'll make my answer more precise. So I said I was going to find C, so I'm going to say 14 is to the sine of his angle. So I'm still looking for an angle, so I'm going to use an inverse function. Inverse sine of the two that I know, that's these two right here, go on top. 14 times the sine of 116.8 over the one that I don't know his partner, the odd guy out, 19, he goes on the bottom. That should be angle C, and he should be this. So I'm gonna go second and sine. Give me a fraction. 14 times the sine of, and I'm gonna go back up here and grab this number. I'm gonna make sure I close my parentheses and go down and push 19. So, do I get 41.1?
It's okay if I did it the other way, right? Like, use cosine?
Yeah, you got the same thing, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this is 41.1 degrees. How am I gonna find A? Yeah, I'm just gonna subtract. I'm gonna say angle A is equal to 180 minus 116.8 minus 41.1, and I'll get angle A to be 22.08. Or 22.1, that's fine, 22.1. Anybody got a question?
No, I just use a lot more paper than that.
Oh, well, that's okay. All right, so is everybody okay? All right, so is law of cosines really difficult?
Easy.
When you first look at it, you go, oh my gosh. But then you start to see the relationship between all this stuff, and it's really not that bad. Okay, so let's do the next one. It's gonna be one where we know an angle, okay, and the two sides that make that angle. So this is example 2, and it says find the missing, y'all can't see it, sorry. Find the missing parts. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you that angle A is 115 degrees. I'm gonna tell you that side B is 15 and side C is 10. Could this be ambiguous?
No.
No. Y'all, law of cosines, if you're using law of cosines, which we know we are because they told us section is law of cosines. So law of cosines not be ambiguous, that's the law of sines. So that's why I'm not really checking these. On the test, will you know? Not unless the problem says use law of cosines or something, you see what I'm saying? All right, so I'm gonna draw me a picture. I'm gonna do this angle first, 115, he's an obtuse angle. Okay, so let's see, one side's a little bit longer than the other one, so I'll make this one 15 and this one 10, this is A. So 10 is side C, so this must be C. 15 is side B, so this must be B. And this angle is 115. On your worksheet, there's some degrees and minutes. Do y'all remember how to put those in your calculator? No? Look, here's the way you put them in your calculator. If I had 15 degrees, I would say 15,
Second.
and then you go second and angle, or apps, which gives you the angle. And then number 1 is degrees, and then you could go 45, second and angle, and number 2 is the minutes. Okay? If you wanted seconds, seconds is over here by the plus sign, the green. You would have to go alpha and the plus sign, that would give you.
Can't you divide 45 divided by 60?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I did earlier.
Okay. All right, that will change it into a decimal. But remember this, remember the rule, huh? So the rule is that if I give it to you in degrees and minutes, what do I want my answer in?
Degrees and minutes.
Degrees and minutes. Okay, so will second and angle allow you to change whatever you have? What?
Oh,
Sure.
See? Go to degrees, minutes, and seconds.
You can like put a
So if
degree-
you got it in, so let's say that you got an answer, obviously the calculator is going to give you an answer in, as a decimal. So he's gonna do that right there. And if that was your angle, you would go second and angle, and you would choose number 4. And he's saying, hey, you want me to convert that answer to degrees, minutes, and second? Yes, sir.
Okay.
And there he is, 15 degrees and 45 minutes.
So we have to do that for the worksheet.
If they give you the problem in degrees and minutes, then I want the answer, right? Okay. I'm just trying to keep you current on that stuff. Okay, so here we go. Tell me what's the only thing, what do you have to find right now?
side A.
Side A. Y'all, you're stuck. There's not, you can't do anything. You have to find this side A. Okay? So, the formula is A is equal to the square root of the 2 other sides squared. So, 15 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times each one of those. 2 times 15 times 10 times the cosine of the angle of that side, 115.
That's a lot to type in.
So, well, you know what? It's better than back in the olden days when they had to chisel it out of stone and work it all by pencil. Yeah.
I hope I did it right. I got 21.7.
Okay. Well, can't get my light to cooperate. So, I'm gonna say the square root of 15 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 15 times 10 times the cosine of 115. 21.26.
2.6.
Is it gonna tell us which round you want to?
Yeah. A is equal to 21.26. We're gonna find angle B, we're gonna find angle C. Okay, could I use law of cosines to find angle B or angle C?
Yeah, but we're not
Yes.
gonna do that.
But I'm not going to, people, but you're more than welcome to. All right, Madeline's already showed us it works either way, it doesn't make any difference. So, I've got a pair right now. This guy right here is 21.26. So once I get a pair, I'm going back to my law of sines. So the angle is to the sine, the side is to the sine of the angle as the side is to the sine of the angle. So I'm gonna look for V right now. So I'm gonna say 21.26 is to the sine of 115 as 15 is to the sine of V. What am I using?
Inverse.
Inverse sine, people, you're looking for an angle, all right? So inverse sine of the 2 that I know go on the top, 15 times the sine of 115. The odd guy out goes on the bottom, 21.26. That's going to be angle B. So in my calculator, I'm going to go inverse sine, give me a fraction, 15 times the sine of 115, close the parentheses, go down on the bottom, 21.26, and 39.7, or 8, is that right?
39.6.
It's
75.
39 point.
I got 76.
I got 7.3.
I got 7.6.
Oh,
I typed the
well,
whole
see,
thing out.
Whoa. Well, see, now you're switching it up.
Mhm.
I used the entire number.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Hmm.
What, this number right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have mine on my calculator, I cleared it, so sorry.
It's okay.
So 39 point, what?
I got
Putting
76.
7, okay, so how, if I said 39.8, we would all be correct. Do you agree with that? Okay, that ought to make everybody happy. Now, let's do angle C. Angle C is 180 minus A, 115 minus B, 39.8. So angle C is going to be 25.3.
No.
It's 2.
Two-
sorry,
no, it's 0.2.
25.2. I got 2 5s, so I rounded up, yeah. Nope. All right, anybody got a question?
If you did it with cosine, you wouldn't get point
I
eight.
got 39.73.
That's what I did cosine.
You did cosine and you got 7.3?
But I think
Might be
it's
a little
also
bit different, but it's
well, they did
okay.
cosine, but they still didn't do the full number.
You didn't do the full number.
I just did 21.26.
Yeah, so that's what.
It would have been
You didn't do the
21.255.
full, if you had used the full
Oh,
number
yeah.
and we used the full number, we would get the same thing, okay? If you use the full number and we use the full number, but I didn't use the full number either, so that's why we're a little bit off. Okay, so let me do the next one. I got 2 more and then I'm gonna give the rest of the class to you, okay? The next one is a baseball question, okay? And here's what it says. It says you have a baseball field. What's the shape of a baseball field?
Diamond.
A diamond, very good.
Triangle.
So,
2 triangles.
it says that the pitcher's mound is 43 feet from home plate. And each base is 60 foot apart,
60 feet.
okay? I wanna know how far the pitcher's mound is from first base. And I'm going to tell you, that light drives me crazy, but I'm gonna tell you that this angle right here is 45, okay? Now, I want to be very careful and let you know that, do you know that that's a right angle?
No.
It is not. You don't know that, people, and I'm gonna tell you now it's not. All right? It's very close, but it is not.
What is that number?
This is 43, 45, and 60. 43, 45, and 60. Okay? 43 feet from the pitcher's mound to home plate, 60 feet between each base, and 45 degrees. That's what that angle is. They told me all that in the problem, okay? They want to know how far, from the pitcher's mound.
Whoa. Now?
Pitcher?
No, no. It's T.
I said it doesn't have a T.
I thought you said it have a D. You said a D.
No, I said a T.
P-I-T-C.
P-I-T-C-H-E-R. Pitcher's mound. I was like, man, that's what I get
Did
for
you make the
writing.
D? I thought you said D in mound. I was like, yeah.
To first base. No, that's me and my poor spelling. So,
They still need people for the UIL.
yeah, well, I'm pretty sure they're not letting me down.
Wait,
Okay.
I have a question though. How do I know which one's A, which one's B? I know it's.
Can you just put
Okay, so listen to me. Yeah, you can call them whatever you want to call them, but you understand why I don't need the formulas?
I guess you could just do sine, but I don't like that.
I'm gonna do, you can't do sine, because you don't, this is the only angle that you know.
Then
I don't need formulas, because here's what I'm gonna do. X is equal to the square root of the 2 that I do know,
Yeah.
Minus 2 times 43 times 60 times the cosine of that guy's angle.
Wait, so you don't need to.
So, I mean, y'all, this is the formula, and you could do this. If you
You're not
didn't
using
like
that to
that
figure
and
out
you don't
anything else?
understand it, you can say, well, I don't like that, so I'm gonna call this A, this B, and this C, and this would be angle B, and this would be angle A, and this would be angle C. You see what I'm saying? You can name it whatever you wanted to. Doesn't make any difference.
Didn't you say cosine was gonna be harder? Because I think it's so much easier.
Okay.
It's way.
I think that I think this stuff seems to be harder for kids, cause just like that problem right there, sometimes kids are like, wow, wait, what, that didn't have any A's, B's, and
plug
C's
it
in
in.
it. Okay, so make up your own, people. Just make sure that the angle and
The side match.
the side opposite it have the same letter, all right? So, we're gonna do second and square root of 43 squared plus 60 squared minus 2 times 43 times 60 times the cosine of 45. Is that what y'all got? 42.4. Is that reasonable?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's reasonable. It's almost the same. Is this angle right here close to a 45? Is it close to a 45, 45, 90?
Yes. but
Yes,
it's not.
this side's 43 and this side's 42.4. So it's close, but it's not.
Wait,
It's
so my
not
question, so like, the picture amount is like a little bit like this?
Yeah. Okay, last one, all right? Last problem and then insurance. All right, so this one, I'm gonna have to write, let's see, I'm gonna have to do it on another paper. Cause I need to write it out. I didn't write it out in last class because I was feeling really bad. But I'll write it out for the video. All right, so here we go. Example 4. Example 4. A ship travels. Uh-oh, guess what we're fixing to do?
Bearing.
Bearings.
I'm gonna get every single bearing question wrong.
A ship travels. I love your
I'm
confidence.
sorry.
A ship travels 60 miles due east.
I bet it does.
Which way's that?
In foreign language.
Yes.
Yeah, to the right, to the right, to the right. Okay, then adjust
Southwest.
its course northwest,
Alright.
northward, not northwest, sorry, don't write that down.
No.
Then adjust
worry, I
its
have that
course northward.
Is that
Yeah.
north?
So it's toward the north, but it's not north. It'll just be going up some, okay? And it says as shown, but I could not show you. You could draw it without me showing you. After traveling 80 miles in the new direction,
It goes back to the starting point.
the ship is 139 miles from its point of departure.
Deal. I can do it.
Yep.
Yay.
Find the bearing. Uh-oh. What do you measure bearings from?
Degree, minute.
From where?
North.
0 degrees north, clockwise. Okay, going to the right. Find the bearing from B to C.
What's B?
It didn't say Beatles.
I'll show you. Okay, obviously they drew a picture for
Oh,
you.
I know what
But
it
I
is.
think people, you start at A and then you go to B and then you go to C.
Yeah. I
Okay,
figured
it's
it
very logical. Okay, so we got a ship. Does everybody agree? I'm not gonna start drawing my picture over here because which way is my ship going? East, and then you'll be off your
Oh,
paper.
yeah.
So start right here. Okay, so my ship's right here and he's at A. Okay, and then he goes due east. So he goes this way. How many miles? 60. And then he adjusts his course, okay? So that means I'm gonna draw a bearing. Because anytime it gives you a new course or something, you really should draw a bearing. So I'm gonna do both of those. Those are north-south lines. Okay, now he adjusts his course. So this is B, and he adjusts his course northward. So now he just starts going a little bit north.
Wait,
Okay.
that's not. North is 0 though.
It didn't say he went north, it said he went northward. Okay, that is not north. That would make a right triangle
Well, then
and
why
we're
didn't he
not,
say he went north? He went northeast.
because that's not what they said in the book. Do you want me to make new problems up, or do you want me to do the ones in the book?
Well, the book
Okay.
doesn't make sense.
Okay, Well, if you're going in a northerly direction, that doesn't mean you have to be going north,
Yeah, but you're going northeast.
okay? If you were going north, it would say you're going
Due north.
due north, okay? So it says you're going northward. After he travels 80 miles in the new direction, so I know this is 80, then he's 100, so this is C, he's 139 miles from the point of departure. Find the bearing from B to C.
Are you
Okay.
right on it?
No. So everybody look. The bearing from B to C, do y'all agree that that is this right here? So if you measured that from 0 degrees north, that would be this angle. Do you agree? All right. So is theta an angle in the triangle? No, he's not. So what angle deals with theta in my triangle? B. So if I could find angle B, how would I find theta from B? Yeah, this is 90 over here. So if I get angle B and I subtract 90 from it, that will give me my bearing. Okay? Now look, the reason I do this is because what happens is that you're struggling doing all this and then you find angle B and what's your brain say?
And
Yay, I'm through. And you're not. Okay? So, let's see. We need angle B. Can I use law of sines? Don't have a pair. Okay? So, to find angle B, I'm going to do inverse cosine of the two sides that make the angle, 60 squared plus 80 squared, minus the side that goes with the angle, 139 squared, all over 2 times 60 times 80. That's going to be angle B. Do you see how much easier it is when I do it without going A's and B's and C's and stuff? I don't have to know all the formulas. I can just like find the relationship between the sides. Okay, so I'm going to go inverse cosine. Get my fraction. You go 60 squared plus 80 squared minus 139 squared, all over 2 times 60 times 80. 166.15. Okay? Am I finished? No. That's why I wrote this, because that asked me for a bearing. Okay? So I'm going to say minus 90, and my bearing will be 76.15 or 76.2, whatever you want to call it. I'm okay with it. Anybody got a question? Okay, so I'm going to turn the lights on. I'm going to let you use the rest of the class. There's not much left. There's minutes.
so are we getting another worksheet?
Yes.